Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode here at Stuck is Lava. Today we're gonna see Parco, which actually is the Pioneer champion from last year, versus Miller, which is playing Amulet Titan today. Well, he always plays Amulet Titan, and he's quite good at this deck. Well, let's see their opening hands. Gotta say that both have an explosive start. We have Arboreal Grades for Amulet. And Parco just remembered to add the life tracker on the battlefield. Good for us, just to keep track. He needs it. There we go. Time to hit the Prowess to start. Fetching for Steam Vents and Dragon's Rage Channeler. It's always a good start for Prowess when they start with Channeler. Spelunking. Drawing one, allowing all the tapped land to come into play untapped. And Otawara. Spelunking is a bad amulet, but still works because it enables a lot of plays. And it's always good to have a backup when you can't find your amulet in your first hand. Dragon Rage Channeler hitting and Grazer kissing the Channeler. Oh wow, that's a kiss slap! +2/+2 to the Channeler, surveilling, and the Grazer says goodbye. That was a kiss goodbye. Summoner Pact. And Primeval Titan, which is basically whatever an Amulet Titan deck needs to win the match. Lotus Field. On the trigger, Miller should sacrifice 2 lands, but he gets some mana floating before he has to do so. So we have 1 green, 1 blue floating, and 3 red. 2 green, 2 blue, and jamming in Titan. We have 1 red floating. It means that Miller wants to attack. And of course, he took out of his deck the battlements that allows the Titan to go haste this turn. And he's also deciding for which other land to take. It's not always easy. This deck has plenty of lines, plenty of things to remember. Green-red bounce land. He gave Ace to the Titan before the bounce land bounce triggers, and then the Battleman comes back into his hand. In response, Parco wants to fetch. Basic Mountain. Let's see how is he gonna handle this hasty Titan. Bolt. Surveil for the Dragon's Rage Channeler ability. Graveyard. And Lava Dart. Okay, 4 damages on the 5 damages on the Titan. It's very expensive this way to handle the Titan. Another lava dart. Boom! The Titan is gone, but also Parko's plan is gone. I mean, nothing on the battlefield other than Darcy and now 1 fetch. He doesn't have Delirium. Fine to him. Fetch Shock for another Steam Vents. There we go. Three cards in hand for Parko. And Preordain. Is sorcery the last thing he needs to get Delirium? Probably yes. And it's Delirium. 3 damages. Yeah, of course, Miller paid for the Summoner Pact, so he has just 3 mana open, which are enough for another Spelunking, which on the big plan does nothing, but it allows him to draw and eventually play another land. So he now has 2 land drops. Echoing Dips, copying a fetch land into the Parko's graveyard, and since it's a cave given to Spelunking, he also gains life. And then another, again, the Battlement, which was in his hand. Core Steel Cutter for Parko. Well, given the situation, he's keeping up very well. Mishra Bubble to trigger the Core Steel Cutter and the Dragon Ray Channeler. Surveilling a land to the graveyard. Swing for 5. As I said, given the situation so far, he's doing great. Parko, it's barely surviving, but also kicking. Echoing Depths fetching for Forest. I want to remember that Depths copied the fetch land in Parko's graveyard. Plenty of mana available for Amulet Titan at this point. We just had a glimpse of what Miller drew. It was a Shifting Woodlands, which is another piece of combo that can enable very, very big shenanigans. With a Titan in... oh, another Summoner Pact. Which means another Titan for him. He's also probably checking what to fetch out of the Titan for afterwards, which lands are still in the deck and which are already gone. Making his plan through it. So Titan is in Miller's hand. And now it's getting played. 1 red floating. He's probably preparing also for the attack phase since Parko is fully tapped. Mirror Pool and Urza's Cave. Hasty Titan. So the plan is not to go infinite right now, but just to get more stuff on the battlefield for Titan. Yeah, Titan is actually a very difficult deck to play, and even though many lines have been, how can I say, like they're very strict lines, you cannot go over certain boundaries. Sometimes you have to improvise, and improvising with this deck is freaking fucking difficult. Vesuva, copy Mirror Pool. Adding lands, copying the Titan. So we have a copy on the Titan, triggering the enter the battlefield ability. We have a copy, trigger, getting more lands on the battlefield, probably to trigger again the Mirror Pool. It's gonna be difficult because he also needs a second. He needs a colorless mana to specifically activate the Mirror Pool ability. Boseiju and Simigrow Chamber. So Boseiju bounces back in hand. Maybe he didn't want to copy again the Titan now. Sacrificing 2 lands for the Lotus Field. And then damage, like the less important part of the situation. It's a Prowess lagging behind to 4, and Boseiju the Core Steel Cutter, allowing Parko to find a basic land type, which could be whatever, a shock land or a surveil land or a basic land. Oh, 16 damages at this point are a little bit too much for Izzet Prowess to be able to win this game, but it's not impossible. Shifting Woodlands, land for turn. Parko is thinking very hard how to get out of this situation, and he decides to go to combat. Just 3 damages, and then Slick Shot. Yeah, it's a very, very desperate situation for Parko, because how is he gonna survive this next turn? Paying for the Summoner Pact. Miller can still copy another Titan with the Mirror Pool that is still on the battlefield. double Titan trigger, so 4 lands are gonna come into the battlefield. Dryad Arbor, one of those lands, and the other one is Urza Saga. And then Tolaria West bounce land to get Tolaria West back in hand. Bolting one of the Titans. I don't understand what's the Parko's plan at this point. Okay, Parko forgot that Titans trample. That makes sense now. Next game. Another very good opening hand for both players. Still very explosive. We have a Dragon Ray Channel which is stuck to Parko's hand. And Amulet. This is a very good start for Amulet. Just 1 damage. Fetching for basic mountain, plotting the slick shot for the next turn. We can see that Miller's plan for this post-sideboard game is to disrupt Parko's graveyard with that Bojuga Bog that we can see from his hand. There it is. And then Grazer, not playing the additional land. Cory Steelcutter. The situation for Parko is way better from what it was before. Surveil trigger stays on top. Slick shot triggering Cory Steelcutter. And move into combat. Grazer blocking the slick shot. And just 3 damages. Just a little small kiss. Green Sun Zenith for 1. Another Arboreal Grazer. It's probably to try to keep up and survive at least 1 more turn. No land drop for Miller. Swift Spear. Parko is going aggressive with Prowess. Preordain, trigger. Surveil trigger, putting the land into the graveyard. Now it's time to preordain. He's keeping track of the Prowess. Creating a new monk, given this is the second spell. The first one was Swift Spear, the second one is Preordain. The new monk has been equipped with the Cory Steelcutter. Now it's time to go to combat. Swinging with everything. The Grazers move to block. Fetching for Shockland for Eldrazi Prowess. Mutagenic Growth. Swift Spear grows, trigger on everything that has a prowess to trigger. And both the Grazers die. No, there's no Delirium in Parko's graveyard yet. Counted in damage, but I assume it's a shit ton of damage. $11 damages total. Going to 5. Last turn for Miller. Let's see if he managed to do the trick. Miller is counting if he has enough to cast something. And not just survive, but winning this match. Bounce land. He has 4 mana floating right now. Bouncing back. One green playing against Grazer, and then bounce land again. 5 mana floating. And then Summoner's Pact. Another Grazer. So bouncing the Bojuga Bog and playing the Titan. Miller is counting what's on Parko's battlefield just to understand what can he do, because he now has 3 blockers against 5 attacking creatures, plus whatever Parkos can play, or whatever Cory Steelcutter can provide at some point. Okay, he decided not to attack. My question is, how is he gonna survive to the Summoner Pact next turn? Oh, there was the Titan ATB. Tolaria West, back in hand. Transmuting for something new. That's how is he gonna survive to the Summoner Pact. And another Summoner Pact in hand. Expressive Iteration. Miller hoping for 3 lands. The one last creature that was needed for Parko to win this game. Oh, he doesn't want to cast it. Preordain. Surveilling for a Dragon Ray Channeler, preparing all the Prowess triggers. And with that mutagenic growth in hand, I think it's gonna be game. Swinging with everything. Slick Shot is blocked. Miller counted and he figured that he doesn't have enough to block. Last game. Amulet Titan started with a battlefield on the ground. Fiery Owlet for Parko and Swift Spear. Attack for 1. Educational Slap from Parko. Urza Saga. Chapter 1. Noise. Fetch Shock for Parko. Steam Vents. And Monastery Swift Spears. Attacking for 2. And Dragon Ray Channeler. Setting up the board. Amulet, quite nice. Crumbling Vestige, adding 2 floating plus the battlement, we have Spelunking. At this point, 1 Amulet and 1 Spelunking, they don't stack together, it's either one or the other, but it's just to draw and have the life gaining in case. And also putting a second land on the battlefield. Slick Shot, not plotted. Mishra Bubble. Parko bubbled itself just to see if it's the case of cracking that fetch or not, maybe. And now it's time to attack. 8 damage. Well, the situation is a little bit better for Miller now, but still not super good given the situation on the battlefield. Bubble trigger. Parko draws. Miller draws. Saga chapter 3, looking for something in the deck and getting 1 mana floating. Amulet. So now the situation is different. The two amulets can stack together, ignoring the spelunking effect. So he can have 4 mana out of each of its bounce lands. Crumbling Vestige. One green mana, 3 colorless floating, 4 colorless floating. And then green red. He has 7 mana. Titan. No, sorry, Scape Shift. I didn't expect that. Sacrificing lands. He's probably going for an infinite combo at this point. Maybe he's trying to play around any counter, 1 mana counter that Parco could hold for weird shenanigans. Could be. Bounce land, Tolaria West, Urza's Cave. Two blue floating. We have 1 green, 3 blue floating. Transmuting Tolaria. Summoner's Pact. Playing the Summoner Pact. Spell Pierce. Resolving the Surveil trigger from the Dragon Rage Channeler. Keep it on top. Miller pays for the Spell Pierce. Aftermath Analyst, yes. Cracking the Urza's Cave for Lotus Field, getting shit ton of mana floating, all green. Casting the Analyst for 2, still 5 mana floating. Entering the battlefield, milling 3, and then sacrificing the Analyst, getting back all the lands in the graveyard, generating mana. It's mana forever. They're assuming he has enough mana to do whatever. Cracking the cave to get... Cracking the cave, bouncing the lands, resolving the triggers to empty the stack. Getting Shifting Woodland, which allows him to redo everything from scratch. Because this way he can use Shifting Woodland as it was the Aftermath Analyst and repeating over and over and over the same engine. And with Urza's Cave he can empty his deck out of all the lands and basically do whatever, because at this point he can Otawara all the Parkos creatures, he can Boseiju whatever, yeah, exactly. And lastly, last thing he can do, he can create several copies of Aftermath Analyst and swing in for infinite damage. So there's the combo kicked in and Miller won this game. Amulet Titan, amazing deck. Amazing deck. Able to turn such a desperate situation in a win. Yeah, Parko is talking on how he was supposed to play that Spell Pierce, but it didn't work anyway because Miller played around it. It was a very interesting match. Probably Bolt should have stayed in Parko's deck. Or at least that's what Miller is suggesting to him, to keep the bolts, because it could be a very good resource against him. Suggestion from Miller is to trim Cory next time, because it seemed to be a little bit slow. Yeah, iteration is probably a bit too slow for playing against Titan. Now it's time for Samwise Combo versus Eldrazi Tron. Historically, Combo has always been a good option against Eldrazi Tron. So I think Marius is gonna have a very good time on this matchup. Urza's Tower for Stian. Fetch Shock and Gilded Goose. getting Marius. Oh wow, this member. That was harsh. It was like educational slap. Considering that Tron doesn't have so many removals, or at least not early game, that was like, go away, we don't want to see that goose again. Fetch, pass for Marius. Eldrazi Temple. Cracking the fetch. Shock. And now, Orcish Bowmaster. Marius is probably trying to hit on the gas in this game. He doesn't want Stian to enable his Tron shenanigans. Attacking for 2. And then playing Birthing Ritual. Ritual is an amazing card at this moment. At the end, in your end phase, you're allowed to check your first 7 cards on your deck, and then, if you want, you can sacrifice one of the creatures on the battlefield and replace it, as long as that creature costs 1 mana more than the creature sacrificed. Pretty good. Let's say that compared to the old Birthing Pod, it's not as powerful because you don't have the possibility to check your entire deck, but 7 cards are quite good for no spending any other activation and having it at the end of your turn. Cauldron Familiar, which is part of the combo. When it enters the battlefield, it's 1 life gain for Samwise Combo and 1 life less for Eldrazi Tron. Cavern of Souls, naming Eldrazi. And so we Miko Spawn. Just to enable the Tron. Not kicked. Power Plant. And now, 1 colorless floating, Karn. Card allows Stian to search his 15 cards of sideboard to find that silver bullet that can stop the Samwise Combo shenanigans. But with 1 mana floating, I don't know if that's gonna make any difference. We will see. He decided to plus Karn. The bet here is to survive one more round, but one more turn, but I don't think that's gonna be possible with a birthing ritual on the battlefield. The flaring is real now. Sam from hand. So 1 piece of the combo missing for Marius. Chord of Calling for 1. And Viscerous here, which was the last piece of the combo. So Sam triggers creating a food. At this point, Marius can sacrifice the cat and dealing the damage, and sacrificing the food to have the cat coming back. So the cat is gonna deal the damage, creating a food, sacrificing the cat again, and then creating the food, and that's an infinite loop that is gonna win him the game. He can deal infinite damage and gain infinite life. Second game, let's see what Stian is gonna come up with, because it's a very difficult matchup for him. Fetch Shock, Gilded Goose. Like, Marius today is playing as if he was on a schedule. I don't know why he's playing so fast, but well, good for us in a way. No dead time. Disruptor Flute, calling Samwise. It's not stopping Samwise to trigger his ability to create food, but at least it's gonna prevent him to play it from hand for 3, which is not the best choice against this kind of deck, because Marius has very many ways to play Sam without playing it from hand. Chalice for 1. Same but different. It's annoying, but I don't think it's that annoying. fetch shock in Stian's turn. Chord of Calling. X is 1. So that's how he worked around the Chalice at 1. He just scored the creature that he needed. Oh, Highwire Might. This is good to get rid of the hate that Stian put on the battlefield. And then he cracks it to get rid of the Chalice at 1. So now Chalice is not a problem for Marius anymore. He lost 1 life apparently because the Away Might died and the marionettist did something. Cauldron Familiar. And then I can't see last card. Oh, and Sylvan Safekeeper. Oh, another Gilded Goose. Marius got stuck. He kept just because of Chalice and Disruptor Flute, but he didn't have any other plan to win the game. He just wanted to stop Marius' game plan. But at this point, Marius' game plan is way too big, I wanna say. He could just win attacking. He doesn't even need the combo at this point. If nothing changed for Stian, of course. Chord of Calling for 1. Carrion Feeder, which is kinda nice. Sacrificing creatures is gonna grow bigger. Three mana. Attacking for 4. Expedition map, no luck for Stian, which is really lagging behind. sacrificing the map, searching for the land, in order not to skip the land drop. Because if in a stroke of luck, he's gonna survive the next round and draw the last land he needs to finish the Tron, he may do something. I think it's a little bit too late for a comeback right now, but who knows? I just forgot to create a food at the end of the turn with the Gilded Goose. Attacking for 4 again. Ranger, Captain of Eos. Looking for creatures in his deck. Another Cauldron Familiar. Sacrificing a food. Playing the cat. And then sacrificing the cat again. Sacrificing the Gilded Goose. I don't understand exactly what's happening because he played the cat right away. I think there was kind of a misplay at this point because he played the Captain Ranger of Eos right after. Did I miss something? I think there was a misplay here because there was no way he could play and sacrifice. Maybe I'm wrong, but oh well. Seaman. Seaman has a very controlled version of Dimir Midrange, while we already saw what Samwise Combo from Marius can make. They're both deciding if they want to keep or not. And there we go, they keep. And there we go. Marius fetch pass. Seaman fetch pass. There we go, Surveillant for Marius. My general suggestion when you play Magic is to play a little bit slower. Even though you know your deck, you know everything, it's a little bit better to play slower in order to be sure not to skip the triggers or not to skip anything. Thoughtseize, literally casted on the battlefield. There we go, Frog. Frog is gone. Fetch again. playing Young Wolf. He said he's gonna get Temple Garden in order to do that. Yes. Yeah, as I said, playing a little bit slower helps not to skip the trigger or not to confuse the opponent or not to confuse yourself many times, because you could get lost in your thoughts, in your reasoning, and you could miss some triggers, some other important thing on the battlefield. And if you find a very focused opponent, someone who is actually taking track of everything, he may call the judge in a very in a bigger tournament, or he may get you a warning. So, or he may get advantage of you skipping some important trigger for yourself. So, as a piece of advice, always take your time. Don't slow play. I'm not talking about playing slowly intentionally, but I'm talking not to play too quickly, so quickly that you can get confused by yourself. So confused to hit yourself. Taking a little break apparently, but yeah, so many times, or at least that's my opinion, thinking a little bit more on the plays and what you want to do in that game, thinking about what the opponent could have in hand, even though maybe you're not a very responsive deck, it can help you to build a better game for yourself. Surveilling for Seaman. Take him for one. I was playing a two-headed giant once with a guy, and when I was looking at his game, he had a Kiki Jiki on top of his deck and a fetch land, and he was like, man, I won the game. And then after 5 minutes he was still playing, and I was like, didn't you win the game? Orcish Bowmaster for Marius. That guy actually fetched with the Kiki on top. He lost the game. Spell Snare on that Bowmaster. It was a no from Seaman. Safekeeper and Highwire Might. Young Wolf attacking for one. Fetching. Basic Island. That way the giant went so bad. Another good piece of advice is, I don't do it, so I should be better at this, but writing down, ooh, Bowmaster, that's how you do it. Hitting the Safekeeper. So I was saying, a good piece of advice would be to write down your cards, or trying to have something that reminds you your triggers in order for you not to skip over, I don't know, maybe you're overexcited by the card you drew or something. You should always keep your shit together and do what you gotta do. Attacking for one, and then Ninjutsu Kaito in. Well, Marius knew about it because he saw it through the Thoughtseize. so not much of a big surprise. Surveil 2, and then draw 1. Both of them into the graveyard. Playing land. Gilded Goose. Food token. Kaito is attacking. 3 damages. Surveilling again. 1 graveyard, 1 draw. Darkslick Shore. Enters the battlefield tapped. I don't understand why in a control deck, mid-range control-ish deck, you want to play a fast land. I mean, it's nice in the first 2 turns, but I don't know. I think it would maybe be better with a Verge, but Grist. That one is quite good, but not today. Not today. Subtlety and bottom of the library for Grist. Not a very good situation for Marius. Now he has to deal with the Seaman threats. Blocking Kaito, getting 3 damages. Young Wolf comebacks again for his Undying ability. Kaito, Surveil to draw 1. The situation is quite good for Seaman, because right now he's just reacting to what Marius can do, and he has also some threats that can win him the game. Potentially last turn for Marius, he has to combo now, if he's able to. Samwise. And no. Like, Seaman has something for every card at this point. He's drawing too much, he's controlling the game. Combat. Fatal push on the Goose. So before the attack phase, Marius wanted to do something on the fatal push. He wanted to get something with the Chord of Calling. And then counterspell, and this ends the game. I played against Seaman, and I totally know that his deck, the best word to describe his deck is no. It's a big fat no. Fetch Pass, Darkslick Shore, and Thoughtseize. It's a very good hand for Marius. He has basically the combo ready. If it was not for that Thoughtseize, I mean... Some visit to the graveyard. Marius surveils. Untap, draw. Shock in. Green Sun Zenith for 1. Green Sun Zenith gets reshuffled into the library and Gilded Goose, creating a food token. Surveilland. To the graveyard. It was a Tamio. On top, draw for Marius. Viscer's here. And also the Carrion Feeder. Seaman. Marius asked if Seaman plays Pest Control. Of course he doesn't, because Pest Control requires also white. But we can see from his hand that he has the explosives. Frog. Explosives for 1 would be devastated at this point of the game. Cat is in the graveyard. So at this point, Marius needs just 1 Sam to combo and win the match. Passing the turn. Seaman untapping his lands, but apparently he's mana screwed. Whoopsie. Discarding 1 card. Moving to combat. Flying the frog. The goose dies. Marius is trying to not to let Seaman draw what he needs to get rid of the land screw. Yes, counter spell. He's mana screwed, but he has resources. Birthing Ritual, playing land, fetching. Dryad Arbor. They're discussing on how Green Sun Zenith works. If you have to shuffle your library first and then shuffle your Green Sun Zenith, or if you can shuffle the Green Sun Zenith along with the library as long as you use it. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, end step, the Birthing Ritual triggers. And a sleeve got broken. Marius in our tournaments is the one with the highest ratio of broken sleeves. Not joking. It could probably be because of the way he shuffles, but I mean, every time is 5 to 6 sleeves broken per tournament. It's like, seven cards from the top of the library for the Birthing Ritual trigger. Sacrificing the Arbor. Gilded Goose. It's not a Samwise. Seaman, mana screwed, but still alive and kicking. So at this point, even though Seaman can still attack with the frog, there's another goose to block the frog, not allowing him to draw. The goose gets sacrificed to the Viscera Seer in order to scry and adjust the draw for the next turn. Second main, Strategic Betrayal. Okay, sacrificing a food to get back the Cauldron Familiar, and then sacrificing Carrion Feeder. I didn't fully get it, but it's okay. I would have sacrificed the cat again. Orcish Bowmaster, face. Amassing Orcs. Just one. And end of the turn, Birthing Ritual triggers. Still no Sam. Sacrificing the Cauldron Familiar for another Orcish Bowmaster. Apparently Marius just figured out that Seaman is mana screwed. Or probably was joking about that, but yeah. Attacking with the frog. And he's discarding one card because he really needs that frog to fly at this point. Discarding a subtlety. And then flying the frog. Assigning 3 damages and drawing 1 card. And then 2 damage from the Orcish Bowmaster because of the card draw. Still no land for Seaman. That's very unfortunate. So in response to the Bowmaster's triggering, he wants to sacrifice the tokens in order to scry with the Viscera Seer and adjust the draw a little bit better. Sacrificing the 2/2, then creating a new one that is a 1/1. The other Bowmaster is still on the stack. Sacrificing it, scrying. And then with the last one coming in, no scry again. And then yes, then he scries. Untapping, keeping on top. Moving to end step. Bursting Ritual. Ooh, shoot a Sheriff on the Viscera Seer. Sacrificing the Viscera Seer to scry 1. Bottom. Bursting Ritual triggers. Gilded Goose. Sacrificing a Bowmaster. And then Fatal Push on the frog. Sacrificing a food to replay Cauldron Familiar from the graveyard. No land. No land, that's unbelievable. I guess it happens, but wow. Well, Seaman kept 1 lander anyway, so it was kinda good. Tamio, and then Engineered Explosives. X is 1. Viscera Seer again. And this could be the end of the game. 1 damage from the attack phase. And then end step. Still. Bursting Ritual triggers. Sacrificing a Bowmaster for a Ranger Captain of Eos, allowing to search the deck for for a small creature. How we might. Land, finally. Attacking with Tamio, blocking with the... Marius was scared of the Kaito ninjutsu, so he blocked with the goose. Three mana. Toxic Deluge! X is 3. X is 3. So they're gonna kill everything on the board, creating just one food before everything is gone. Sacrificing and scrying. Sacrificing a food to have the cat back. Another sleeve is gone. And Viscera's here again. Haywire Might. Birthing Ritual triggers again. Still no Sam. Everything was ready on the battlefield to get the combo out, but still no Sam. Finally lands for Seaman. Passing the turn. Attacking for 1. Attacking for just 1 with the Young Wolf. Fetching. Basic Island. Subtlety. Just for blocking the wolf. Sacrificing to Viscera's here in order to scry, and now it's time to go to the end step. Birthing Ritual triggers again. Still, one Sam would end the game, but apparently no Sam. Marinette Apprentice. There we go. Seaman needs to find a way out of this situation. He found plenty, given the mana screw and whatever. He played an amazing game, but now it's difficult. Like, hoping that in the next 7 cards there's not gonna be any Sam is like a big, huge bet. Quantum Riddler. Drawing 1 card. Sacrificing the clue, playing 1 land, Riddler goes to Warp Zone, so Marius sacrifices the food in order to get back the cat. 1 damage, and then he has enough to kill Marius. To kill Seaman, sorry. And there we go. Game 3. Let's go, the game starts. Fetch shot for Thoughtseize. A painful start for Seaman. No creatures, just way to get them. Birthing Ritual is the selected card for Thoughtseize. Very good choice. So annoying. Shock Green Sun Zenith for 0. Probably getting a Dried Arbor. They're joking about the fact that he found the Dryad Arbor, he shuffled, and then he has to cut the deck to then shuffle back the Green Sun Zenith in. Orcish Bowmaster on the Dryad Arbor. Oh well. Another sleeve is gone. As I said, he's the one changing the hugest amount of sleeves in our tournaments. I think in the entire Norway. Dryad Arbor is gone. Bowmaster created the Orc army, and now it's Marius' turn. Drawing 1, playing a land, Fatal Push on the Bowmaster. Then Quantum Riddler. Drawing 1, attacking with the Orcs, and then Dark Slick Shore. Quantum Riddler warped out. Surveilling for the double surveil for no, sorry, just a Shockland tapped. Surveilling was at the end of Siemens' turn. Drawing one card. Very quick situations now. Surveilling for Shadowy Backstreet, for Marius. Another sleeve is gone! I'm shocked. Literally. Tamio, pass. Passing again. Well, it's not good to be that passive against a control deck. I mean, Seaman is just stacking up cards to deal with Marius Combo. Totsis. In response, cracking the fetch for a basic forest, and now it's time to Chord of Calling and Counterspell. So it's still a no. Chord of Calling is gone, and now it's time for it's time for the Thoughtseize, and it's still Chord of Calling. Well, Marius was very passive, but due to poor drawing. Was Adrian play? Chord of Calling, X is 3. Crystal Barricade. Prevents all non-combat damage, and the active player has, not the active player, sorry, the controller has X-proof. Toxic Delage for X is 4. And then time you again. Is there a seer? And then passing the turn. Bowmaster again. Spellsnare, it's still a no. Slow down, Marius, please slow down. Sam. And Counterspell. Frog. Tamio hits for 0. Turns in the round. First extra turn for Seaman. They're counting down from 5. I will do it too, so it's gonna be easier. 5 turns left. Both of them may win this game. Bowmaster again on the Viscera Seer. How many Bowmasters did we see in this game? Frog attacking for 1. Trigger. Sacrificing a clue. Tamio flips. And it's +2 for Tamio. Four turns left, Gilded Goose. Which I think is okay. I don't think that's a card that you want to subtlety, but maybe he wants in order to be able to attack with the frog. Marius is suggesting Seaman to get back a Fatal Push, but yeah, subtlety. Subtlety on the Gilded Goose. Marius decided to keep it on top. 3 turns left. Dark Slick Shore in Seaman's hand. Discarding 2 to Frog. Attacking for 4. Drawing 1. Tamio taking back a counter spell to basically save this game. Gilded Goose on the battlefield. Counter spell on that Gilded Goose. 1 turn left. Orcish Bow Master. Drawing 1. Drawing 2 out of the clues, and then Seaman has enough damage to win the game. Very, very interesting game. Seaman's deck is so controlling. So controlling. And Marius was a bit unlucky, I gotta say. Seemed to be a little bit better in the beginning, but like in this case he was too passive against a deck that is super, super controlling. I just want to mention, like, is it even possible to play these many Bowmasters? Next time I'm gonna go for a deck check for these guys to see if they play 4 or 5 Bowmasters. It's unreal what we saw today. And this was all for today. The Stack is Lava is still on fire, and it's gonna be, I hope, for a long time. If you like the video, please subscribe, like, and all the things that you should do as people who like this channel. The bell to remind of our videos and a lot of stuff. And it's been great to be with you guys. Enjoy, and to the next eruption. Bye.